So let me know when you can see my screen. All right, good. So don't mind me. I'm not sure that my system can't remember, maybe a year or 9 months. Yeah, laughing. Yes. So ideally, ideally, even your system was not designed to be shut down every day. Or I think I was reading a Windows framework, and their suggestion or their requirement is that you shut down maybe once in 6 months. Even though it will put a toll and a wear on your system, but if your system doesn't spoil fast, how would they sell markets? So can anybody see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So we stopped at prioritization frameworks, and what were the 4 frameworks we discussed in that class that we mentioned? Can anybody remind us? Yes, when you can, please go ahead.
Moscow method, RISE, Kano model, then value versus effort.
And there's one more.
I think Kanban.
No, Kanban is not a prioritization framework. Kanban is an agile framework. Please don't just mix it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, when you can, please go ahead.
Yes, I think okay.
Okay, you said Moscow method, RISE, Kano model, then value versus effort, yeah? That was the only 4 I picked.
Yes. Yes, it was just those 4 that we discussed. So we discussed Moscow, we discussed, we mentioned RISE scoring, we mentioned the Kano model, and we mentioned value versus efforts. So today we'll discuss Moscow and RISE. And maybe if you can start Kano, if I still have a bit of time. If not, the next class we'll do Kano and value versus efforts. Are we good? So are we ready? Trying to wait a bit so that people can come in. Okay, but today's class is small, 22. What's happening? Have people started getting tired of product management? Do we wait for them or do we continue, guys?
Let's continue. They will join us, so because of time.
Okay. Okay. So we'll start with Moscow. And just like the name says, Moscow. Yeah, that's the spelling, M-O-S-C-O-W. And what does it mean? It's an abbreviation for must have, should have, could have, won't have. Does anybody remember what prioritization is and what future prioritization is? Anybody wants to remind us? Excuse me. Anybody wants to remind us what future prioritization is? For somebody that doesn't talk. Lydia, do you want to help us? Okay, Tobilaba, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Kalumi.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Great.
Okay, so future prioritization to me is a way of managing tasks and features.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I like that concise. I like that concise explanation. A way of managing tasks in future. So, what are we saying with Moscow today? We are saying with Moscow today, if you are using the Moscow method to prioritize your product backlogs or your sprint backlogs, we are saying what what features are must-haves for this product? What features should this product have? What features could this product have? What features won't this product have? That's simply what Musco means. Do we get it? Are we good? Am I clear? Good. It helps teams align business goals, manage limited resources efficiently, and prevent scope creep. Do you guys know what scope creep is?
No, sir.
All right.
No,
So,
sir.
so when we mention scope creep, it simply means that when you have a scope of what you want to achieve or what you have listed or your list of features or a plan, but somebody comes and say, let me add this one. This one is small, just quickly add it. Or that one you say, and this idea will be good though, let's add it to it. It simply means something else after that creeping into your scope. That's what you mean by scope creep. So it means that, for instance, you already have your sprint backlog out of your product backlog. Or somebody just comes and say, and it'd be nice to have this one. No? Or what do you guys think? At that point, what you're already having in that point is what we call scope creep. It means somebody is creeping or something is creeping into the scope of your to-do. Do you get that? Good. So Mosco is a method that helps prevent things like that because it is stated clearly. When you start prioritizing, what are the features? What features are must-have for this product? What features should it have? What features can it have? It's not necessary. If it has, it's nice. What feature will it not have at all for now? So it distinguishes that from the things that you already know what your musts are, what your shoes are, what your cool down want. So if somebody's bringing something that is on wounds, everybody knows that this one is on wounds. We'll come back to that later. So it helps deliver value faster by focusing on core functionalities, your must, your shoes, and maybe your cool. So must have, these are features that are critical for the product success. Without them, the product cannot function. You guys remember an example I gave last week about about e-commerce platform? You guys remember?
Yes, sir.
All right. So picture this. Imagine an e-commerce platform that doesn't have payment gateway or that can't authenticate user. You're laughing. Are you guys getting the scope of that prioritization now? You get. So you know that you are building an e-commerce. Payment gateway is a core function. If not, you're just building websites. If they feel prioritization, exactly. It's clear off. You're building an e-commerce platform and users cannot log in and create an account. You're just doing social media ads. Technically, you understand? Clearly, you have seen that, if you know that your payment gateway is a must-have, it's compulsory. In fact, that's your core functionality. That's one of your core functionalities. So that is a must-have feature. Should have. These are important features that add nice value. They add significant value, but they are not critical for launch. They can be deferred if necessary. You can push it to later. So the way I like to put it, you see that this is your must-have. There are features that are key for your MVP. Are you guys getting me? Yeah. Should have. It's a nice feature. It's important. It adds nice value to your business or to your product, but it's not critical for your launch. If it doesn't appear, if it's not on your product will still meet value. Your product will still meet a critical pain point. e.g., customer reviews, your tracking order, e-commerce platform again. So you all agree that it's nice for customers to be able to put review.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, do you all agree that it's not a break point for customers? If customer can review, will it change anything?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. So that's what your should have features are. Could have. These are also nice to have features that enhance user experience, but they are not essential. So things, you are building an e-commerce platform. You pick things like being able to create wish lists or personalized recommendations. It increases your user engagement. It increases your user experience, but it's not a core functionality. Then won't have. These are features that are not planned for this release. You can consider it later. But for this release or for this sprint backlog or for this product backlog of this particular roadmap we are working into, this product will not have it. We are clear. So if anything comes up that is looking like is this feature, we know that it's not, we are not yet there yet. Example is what? Augmented reality product previews. Do you guys know what that means? You guys know what
No,
augmented
sir.
reality is? So augmented AR is basically, how do I explain it? So, do you guys know these Apple glasses? What do they call that thing now? These Apple, I think there's a Meta glasses too, Facebook and things like that.
It's Meta glass.
Yeah, there's Meta glasses. Apple Vision, that's what Apple calls their one. I was trying to remember. So you wear it and it gives you an augmented experience of a product, wearing that thing. So somewhere they use this place is in real estate. So when you go to a real estate office, instead of them taking you physically to the location or to the house you want to buy or you want to rent, you just wear that glasses for you. But they will present a scenario like you are in that house, you are walking around in that house and things like that. So that's an augmented reality. So some platforms actually do augmented product reviews where you can wear that glasses and it looks like you're actually using that product and things like that. You can open it, you can close it, depending on the type of product it is and the likes. So for an e-commerce platform, it's a nice thing to have. It's cool, it's technical, it's out of this world, but it's not a core functionality. You understand? It's not a do or die feature that if you don't have, your customers won't come. Do you guys get it? Yeah. So Moscow helps us to quickly eliminate what our core focus is. Are we working on our must-haves? Are we working on our should-have? Are we working on our could-have? Or some people pick formulas. We do 3 must-haves, we pick 2 should-have and 1 could-have. That's how some people work if you're using the Moscow method. So when do you use Moscow? You use it during your sprint planning to rank your backlog items. Just like I said earlier, while defining your MVPs, I said it earlier, your must-haves are things that should come, first when your focus for now is you want to put an MVP into the market. Also to facilitate stakeholder alignment so that at that point everybody knows what you are focusing on. 3, 2, 1. 3 must-have, 2 should-haves, 1 could-have. So that somebody is not coming in the middle of your sprint and saying, this feature that you people left here is nice now. Why are you not putting it? Also, when dealing with budget or resource constraints, Moscow is also a very good prioritization technique or framework to use because you can focus on, building features that you know that there is budget or resource for. So what are the steps to implement a Moscow framework? One, you gather all your requirements, you list all the required features. Two, you engage stakeholders, align business development team and the customer needs together. Then you begin to sort them into must, should, could, and won'ts. Then you validate the priorities. You ensure that these alignments that you have sorted, you know, it aligns with the goals of the project or of your product. And definitely you have to continuously review it because priorities always change. Not even can change. They always change over time. So what are the challenges and best practices? At times, stakeholders will tell you everything is important. Everything is a must-have. No. Everything is not important. You must be able to skillfully identify and separate. Resistance to deprioritization. No, this one is my own feature. You cannot remove it. It's a must-have. This one is my own. No, this one is important. You know? Everybody thinks their features are important. So nobody wants to remove their own as a must-have. Changing business priorities during development. That's also a very big one because the state of change of businesses move around anytime. So for instance, I'll give you a very good example. Imagine somebody that was designing maybe is designing a Twitter bot. And all of a sudden, government says, oh yeah, shut down Twitter. What do you think will happen? Business has changed. They have to reprioritize. So maybe if they had said, let us go with Twitter first, we'll do Instagram and other platforms later. What happens now? It means they have to deprioritize Twitter and go for the other platforms. You guys get it? Good. Conflicts between different departments. For every department member, their own, like I said earlier, my own feature, our own feature, your own feature, everybody's feature is okay. But the truth is, as a PM, you must be skillful enough, to align and carry everybody along. So what are some of the best practices when you are using the Moscow method? Let your decision-making be data-driven. Don't pick features emotionally. So for every feature you are picking that is a must-have, you must have some level of data to back it up that this is why it is a must-have. Also, you must learn to limit your must-have items. Also, you must regularly review and adjust priorities to make sure that they are all aligned. And that, based on your business goal, your priorities are still intact. You must be able to also explain your prioritization logic to stakeholders, like I mentioned earlier. If your prioritization or your decision making for picking a feature is based on data, it's easy to explain the logic to stakeholders. Why you are picking this, why you're working with this, why this is what you're going with, and all those stuff. Also, involve cross-functional teams to avoid bias. So when you're picking features that marketing will have inputs, operations will have inputs, sales will have input. It's not when you have built the feature, you now start involving them. No, from scratch, involve them. Let them know this is what we are building, this is what we are working on, and this is what it will do for you. So you have a cross-functional buy-in. Also, it is always advisable you use Moscow in conjunction with other methods, maybe like RICE or the Kino method for better decision making. All right. Are we good? Nobody's talking. No?
So, Mr. Pelumi.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
are following you, sir.
All
Okay,
right.
so in layman terms, I can say that this Moscow prioritization framework, I can say that the must have can be, I can see it as important and urgent, while the should have can be important but less urgent, and the could have can be important but not urgent, and the won't have can be unimportant and not urgent.
Exactly. People say that way.
Okay, sir. And you also said that when we are to use it, I just want to get something clear, sir. You said we're to use it during, is it during sprint planning and when we
Yeah.
want to round up our products backlog?
Yes. So you use it in the planning stage of your sprints or when you're assigning your to-dos. Basically, you are using it at the stage where you are converting your product backlogs into tasks. So with whichever agile method you are using, either Sprint or Scrum or Kanban, use it at the point where you are transferring your product backlogs into future tasks. So if you're using Scrum, that would be during your sprint planning, you know. If you're using Kanban, it will be when you are creating your to-dos. Do you get that, Toby?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. So what are some of the common mistakes and things to avoid? Assigning too many must-haves to make prioritization ineffective. Like I said, not everything cannot be a must-have, you know. Also, you must always reevaluate priorities as business needs changes. So you can't just leave it like on autopilot, no. Overlooking stakeholder and customer feedback as a pitfall also. You must always consider them, you know. Also, please listen, note this very well. Assuming that won't have means never have, no. The won't have doesn't mean that you will not build it. It just means you're not building it now. You are planning it for future iterations. Also, failing to align multiple priorities with overall business strategy, whatever you're doing, you have to make sure that, you know, my prioritization logic, my decision making aligns with the overall business strategy. How do you avoid these mistakes? By being realistic about your must-haves. Only assign truly essential features. Always schedule regular reviews of prioritization decisions. Always involve customers and end users to validate your priorities to be sure that, yes, this thing is really, really, really a must-have. Everybody agrees that, no, this one is a core feature. Also, keep a balanced mix of must, should, and could have to ensure flexibility. So, like I said, in your head, depending on you, depending on the organization and the type of products, you know, might want to have a mix of maybe 3, 2, 1. If I do 3 cores, 3 must-haves, I can do 2 should-haves, and maybe 1 could-have, depending on you, you know. And always use clear documentation to justify prioritization decisions. Don't just explain it. Have a document pool where people can always go to read up, to understand your logic, to see your why, and how you are operating and running this. It's always very important as a PM. Are we good? Do we all get Moscow now? Any questions on Moscow? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? Thank you. So no question. Can we move ahead?
Yeah, yes, I briefly have a question.
All right, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I see, I think on this slide, there's a place they wrote, you could use this Moscow prioritization technique and other ones to make a decision.
Yes.
But can it stand on its own normally?
Yes, it
Without
can.
the other? Okay.
Yes, it can.
That's
Okay.
Thank you.
So In some aspect of making decisions, so I said let your decision be data driven. That's where other platforms come in. So for instance, people that use Kano method, they use Kano method for mostly when features have to be emotional. So imagine you are using a Moscow method, but you want to use the Kano method to ascertain that these features I've put as must have, should have, could have. You understand? You are picking it from both data, and you are sure that it is aligning to users' emotions. So in that kind of place, you can decide to combine them. Do you get it now, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So assignments. Like I'll give you plenty assignments. All right. So it's simple.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. I'm with you.
Okay, my question is in the combination of different prioritization methods. Okay, what if you use the Moscow and a particular feature that is ranking high begins to rank doesn't rank as high anymore if you use Rice or Kano? How do you reconcile the impact of that feature? Something
Okay,
like that.
All right. So like I said earlier, when you're combining methods, you have to know that you have to know why you're combining methods. So I just give an example now. I want to combine Moscow and Kano. Moscow is my main method that I'm using to pick my prioritization. But I also want to be sure that these features I'm picking, I'm not just picking features I like, or I'm not just picking features logically or out of my head. I want to be sure that these features are features that users have emotional attachments to. I can use Kano in that stead to verify the emotional quotient or the emotional quality of the features I'm using Moscow to arrange. So I cannot start saying that, okay, the one with high emotional quotient, they're my must-haves. I don't really get what I'm saying. Can I?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. So that will move us to the next framework, which is RISE. Yes, RISE. Yes, Rani Consola, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Concerning the assignments, should we actually use the fictional products we use?
Yes, please.
Or
yes,
we
sorry.
actually...
Yes, I was going to mention
Okay.
that. I was going to mention that the fictional product you've been working with, please just use that also.
Okay,
yes,
thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you for that. All right, so we go to RISE. Yes, RISE as in Research Sativa. Yes, Mary, please go ahead.
I'm very sorry, sir. I did not get what you said about the assignment. We're using the products that we're asked to do a research on, that we did a survey on. Is it that first same products that we're going to be using? Okay, thank you.
That's it.
I wanted to
So that,
confirm. Thank you, sir.
yeah, so that it is easier for everybody, and we can all go through what's the English, so that we're not working on different products easily. All right. So rice. Everybody asks about rice. Just like it's an abbreviation also for reach, impact, confidence, and efforts. The RISE model is a prioritization framework that helps PMs and teams make data-driven decisions about which features, projects, or initiatives to focus on. It also ensures that resources are allocated efficiently to maximize impact with minimizing effort. So, just like Chinenye asked, like I was explaining. You are using Moscow, but Moscow itself is a figurative framework. And one of the core fundamentals of using the Moscow framework is to make sure that your decisions are data-driven. You can use RICE to calculate those decisions. So your scores with high numbers becomes your must-haves. You guys get it? I'm the only one in class, so nobody's answering again.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Basically, it's one of the core functionality of RISE. You know, it helps you make data-driven decisions about features, about projects, and about initiatives. So, why RISE? It helps prioritize work objectively based on clear criteria. It ensures that high-impact features get developed first. It reduces bias in decision making. It's data-driven. Is straight up. You know, is nobody can argue it. You understand? It aligns teams on measurable factors rather than gut feelings. So it means that, you know, when you use this framework, everybody knows that there are factors or there are guides that helped the team or that assisted the team in coming to these prioritizations or these arrangements. It's not just, I slept and I dreamt. My great grandfather said that this is the feature we should build. Or, you know, the spirit pushed me. It's how I'm being led. Well, in PM, yeah, even though a lot of things is still got, but you know, it's science based. We need to test it. We need to see your reason. We need to see your logic. You know, it's very important. So, what are the 4 components of RISE? RISE, like I said, it stands for reach, impact, confidence, and efforts. Each scored individually and combined to calculate a RISE score. So we'll move to reach. So what is reach? It's simple. How many people will be affected by this feature or initiative in a given time period? So what am I saying? So we want to develop feature A. And my question is this, when we are prioritizing. If we develop feature A, what is the number of users it will help our product to get in a month or in 2 months or in 6 months, depending on what your prioritization factors are. It helps us estimate the potential scope of impact. For example, a new onboarding flow might reach 5,000 users per month. A small admin feature might only affect 50 internal users per month. And you always have to use a numerical value. So what is the reach of this feature? 100 users in a month or 5,000 transactions in a week. If you are looking at an e-commerce platform, you say something like reach 1,000 sales in a month. Do you guys get it? And let me bust your bubble again. You know, you can have 100 users a month and 1,000 sales in a month. They are 2 different reaches, you know. But depending on your, don't forget what I always say, alignment of the business or the product. At that point in time, which is more important, the users or the sales? So as PMs, you must be very circumspective and be very logical and smart. Have you guys talked about what you call the North Star metrics?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'm not sure I'm the one thinking use that. I'd love to, but it's fine. You know, there's something called North Star metrics. It basically means what is that one thing that you're chasing? And for some people, their North Star is not money. Or for some products. So for instance, a product North Star might be a user that will buy a product 10 times in a month. That's the North Star metric. So in that point in time, you're not chasing money. You are chasing a target audience, a particular persona of a user that can buy, that would purchase a service or do a service on your platform 10 times in a month. Do you know that with that, what you're trying to harvest is engagement. But because he's making transactions on your platform, you're also making money. Do you guys get me at all? Have I confused you people?
You can please come again, sir.
Chineye, please, yes, go ahead, please. Like I've confused you people.
Okay, I think I understand, but my own question is, can a business North Star metric change? Can it change maybe according to the times, can it change, or is it like their mission and vision that is a fixed thing they want to achieve?
So can it change? I'll say yes and no. I believe a North Star metric is when you're building a product, is the core you, what you are looking out for. That is, when I was setting up to build this product, researching on my user for this product, who was I looking for or what was I looking for? Your NSM is more like your what. And that's why I said, for a lot, in fact, go and find out, and I will tell you categorically, for a lot of business, it's not money. Money is a result of you meeting the NSM. So can it change? At times it can change based on business. I just give an example now. Imagine your business core functionality is Twitter. Your NSM can change to something else. Maybe it now means that your product life cycle has started coming down. Then what do you do in that time? You pivot. But as a product that is in the early stage of its cycle, your North Star should not change. Your North Star is that thing that is up there that people are targeting to get to. But the strategy and methods or whatever you do to get it, that one can always change and everything. Chineye, your hands were up.
Yes, you said it cannot change them. You now elaborated, because I wanted to give the example of like OPay. Like here in Nigeria now, we know what OPay was known for, the products they were before, and they just made a 360-degree turn.
They pivoted.
They are still successful, yes. Then this Netflix again, I think they were a DVD company and all that, and now they are now doing well as a movie subscription company and all that. So that's why I asked if it can change.
Yeah, that's why I said yes and no.
Okay, but I understand it now.
Yeah, but at that point in time, I won't say it's the NSM changing. I would say it's the product being pivoted.
Okay, this North Star metric, is it for the product alone or for the business?
For the product.
Like what? For the product.
Yes, for the product. But every product has a business goal also. Don't forget.
Okay, sorry, I'm on this. I just want to understand it well. Using any of these examples I have shared now, like OPay or Netflix. Okay, let's use OPay, like we're all in Nigeria.
All right.
OPay was transportation before. Now they are financial services.
Okay, why did transportation?
It's not transportation. They were we've forgotten. Yes, they were doing delivery,
no, it's not
bike.
that's Gokada.
There was all right.
Yes, they used to
Yes,
do
they
right.
started with
Yes.
transportation. Yes.
Sorry, don't
Yes,
mind
I
me.
knew them as transportation in Lagos because everybody was always using them. Sharp, sharp, they will answer you. So I just want you to help us understand. I really like that you are touching on it. I know that Ms. Fumilayo will still do justice to it. So in this situation now, like transportation and finance, they are two different industries at all. I mean, they are very
All right.
different. So
So
does it mean the North Star was for that transportation business? Now they have pivoted, they have changed it for the
exactly.
finance, or was
I
it just for OPay as a business?
no. So that's why I said for every product has a business goal and a business alignment that aligns to a goal that the business or the company itself sets. But do you guys remember product life cycle?
Yes, sir.
Good. What are the 4 product life cycles? Introduction, growth, maturity, and decline.
Maturity and decline.
So one of the core things that happen when a product is in decline is that it either dies or they pivot it and it comes back into the introduction stage. Because the product has been pivoted, what happened? All right, started. Government started saying, no, you must register, or this kind of bike you must use. You understand? What happened? That product started declining. Because why? The business narratives have changed. You understand? So the business narrative that changed it wasn't a business narrative that affected the business. It was a business narrative that affected the product. That is why they can easily pivot the product, pick a new focus, pick a new strategy, and pick a new NSM. Chineke, do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, very, very. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mary, you put up your hand. You wanted to say something, Mary? So Mary put up her hand. She wanted to say something.
Okay, I just wanted to buttress what Neil was trying to say. That
Okay.
OPay didn't just start as like a transport company. They just had like a multiple subsidiary company together, such
Yeah.
as the transport. There was finance at hand already. There was food and
Exactly.
other. I think some other ones they called. So I think when government just had their own policy of the all right, they just switched to what's it called. They just made the financial aspects more feasible to people to use. So because I started using OPay like for a very long time. So I was always using their financial services to pay for their transport service. Not like it was just a different product they just jumped into. So that was I was just trying to like buttress what she was just trying to say.
So basically, they add tons of. So we're almost saying the same thing. They add tons of products. So it wasn't a business. It wasn't a business line decision. It was a product line decision. So as the product faded, they either pivoted or they just moved to another aspect of their product. And I will say why. And I will say why it is pivoting. Why it is pivoting is because that OPay was a feature on ORide. OPay was the payment feature on ORide. So they just pivoted that product and started pushing their OPay more than the ORide. And they reduced the ORide feature. Joy, please go ahead, yes. Joy, your hands are on. So Bilaba, you want to talk?
Okay, so this what did you call it again, sir? Not this thing that you
Not
and Miss
stomach.
Chineye were talking about. Yes, not star metric.
Not
I really don't know about it. Yes, but it kind of
okay,
aligns
you get
to
it.
what
I thought you guys had spoken about it. I didn't want to,
no,
but you
we've
will get there in
not.
class.
We've not. Maybe yes, maybe personally, some people in class might know about it or must have read about it. But it
Yeah.
kind of when Miss Chineye was saying something about when their products actually hit a decline, and you were trying to explain that it's either they pivot the product or they just like leave it at the decline stage and all of that. So she was not saying something. I think she asked the question about, okay, why does it now seem like their business strategy was changed or their business focus was changed and all of that? Not until when somebody now said, no, they've been in existence and all that. So my point is, Miss Fumilayo made us realize that business strategies don't necessarily change. That is the how do I say it? She said that's why whenever we're doing a product vision, it has to align with the business strategy or the business goal. So every other thing has to align with the business goal for there's a word I'm missing, but when I remember I'll say it. Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we're all saying the same thing. Joy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask that for situations like that, is this something you prepare for beforehand as a product manager? Say, okay, if this kind of occurrence happens, then this is what we're pivoting to, etc. Or it's a spur of the moment thing?
Well, that's a very good question. But I really don't think anybody itself prepares for failure. Or don't let me use failure. Prepare for those kind of attacks. I mean, because that kind of attack is not something you plan. Because you might have been saying, so you might have had strategy for 6 months, and all of a sudden government just scatters everything. So this is where I think your expertise and your experience as a PM comes in. That okay, if things go down or things go this way, what are the features I can pivot? So as a spur of the moment, if you have been working on that product from scratch, you have been doing your user research, user survey and everything, you understand what I'm saying? You already know that there are particular features that meet specific pain points or value to some other people. I am sure that based off on research, people have known that OPay has seen that, their payment infrastructure delivers, and it has been working well for a lot of people. Coincidentally, I'm not the one that enters a lot of cabs like that, so I don't even think I ever use them. I can't even remember. I don't ever think I use them, But I'm sure that they didn't just come to that decision that out of all their features is their payment infrastructure, their payment framework that they wanted to, that they are pivoting to or to move on to. And just like Toby said, the business strategy really changes, even though there are times it changes, And I can tell you for a fact that irrespective of what happened with OPay, there's some level or some part of their strategy that changed. Maybe their core strategy and everything still did not change, But they just looked at, okay, what can we pivot this product into that still aligns with our core business strategy? And that's what they did with OPay. Miriam, you want to up?
Okay, sorry, I think I want to add with what you were saying. For
Yes,
OPay, right? What I actually discovered is that I don't think their business strategy actually changed, or their major strategy or vision board actually changed, because I think what they started with was trying to give what's it called, the grassroots level, something like they can afford. Like they want to give them like that ease. So when the old rights was started,
Miriam, let me just pause you there. You continue. So take this from me. Go and look at OPay. I will tell you that one of their core business strategy is a grassroots strategy. It's a population strategy. They are Asians. What products can we give that we enter mass markets, that multi people will have access to use? So whatever they pivot into has to enter into that strategy of what? Population. I don't know if you get it. Miriam, yes, please go ahead.
Okay, yes. So that was what I was just trying to say. So I think what they did was, when they brought the right thing, they figured that people would have to they studied the whole Nigerian market, there was Uber, there was Bolt, and they just wanted something that people can easily have access to and give them fast means of transportation. So Alright came into place, and they made like their financial platform where you can also pay in money and what's it called through their platform to their riders, and also you don't have to like wait for what's it called confirmation and all sorts. And they were giving like interest. They will give you like free what's it called free money and all. So when the old ride was declining, they figured that okay, people were also using their what's it called their financial services. But the only way they knew that yes, people could actually buy into that market was giving what's it called zero transaction fee and zero SMS. I mean, I said zero transaction fee and making their what's it called their payments platform very seamless for people. And I think another way they actually up their game was giving the whole if you are trying to transfer into other banks, telling you if the network provider of the receiving bank is actually very good and all. So I think they didn't necessarily change their strategy. They just had to like find their way around the whole thing to ensure that regardless, they are still having the mass population and the grassroots level and everybody like still using their products. Like that was just what me I figure out in the whole OPay stuff when I like made my research starting time like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So and you guys will see that the old people, they did not deal with cars. Like I said, they were looking at a grassroots model. You know, a model that add numbers. So they would rather make, their model was simple. They would rather make 1 naira from 1 million people. So you see that they did things like Alright, and the Alright, I think it was not even cars, it was bikes. They did O Food, they did O Trike. Just taking that now, you know. And they had to pivot under a night. So they went to work in the morning and they came back in the evening and government had shut them down. In Nigeria, that's very funny, you know. You can imagine going to work in the morning, and by evening you find out that your products cannot work again the next day, you know. So it shows that, you know, with OPay, and you will still see that is where they work with OPay. Their gamification, fast way they can transfer money and it will work, and that's what they have done, being able to gather the masses. It's a population method. So in this space, whatever they pivoted, it still aligns with their business strategy. That's exactly where I'm going. So, beloved, I want to say something, hands up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that now this conversation that came up just actually brought my mind back to what Ms. Fumilayo taught us about the different types of roadmap and their prioritization technique. So if we can all remember that she spoke about the 3 types of roadmap. She spoke about future-based roadmap, outcome-based roadmap, which is value-driven, and the dynamic living roadmap. So I think what OPay is using is the outcome-based roadmap or the dynamic living roadmap, because those type of roadmaps, especially the outcome-based, is more centered on the business outcome or the business strategy. So the OKR for such a roadmap exactly is actually everything has to point to the end product of the business, like improving the business. So in such a roadmap, they are focused on different futures as long as the goal of the business is to grow or to increase in revenue. So it's focused on different futures. So and such a roadmap works based on continuous iteration, continuous user feedback, and current actually looking out for markets, ever changing market what's that word? So so they're always working with this thing to actually, so it's not a matter of prioritizing futures, because if OPay was actually a future centered roadmap, they use a future centered roadmap, I'm sure by now they won't be able to like pivot another future like their finance future that is now actually in vogue now. So I think the roadmap they used was the outcome based or the dynamic living roadmap? Thank you very much, sir.
All right, Chineye.
Okay, I'm really enjoying this conversation. I wish as part of this training, maybe we will just do things like this, like break down products and all that. But I just want to draw on what Miriam said, and who was the other person that spoke? And also what you also mentioned, yes. I don't think it's so much a problem or an issue of the roadmap they are using as against their ability to adapt, which brings us back to the whole essence of Agile. Irrespective of, even if they are using the most dynamic roadmap that can bend and twist as fast as possible, your roadmap cannot be above government policy, especially when you are working in a country as volatile and as unpredictable as Nigeria. One government policy can wreck your business. Imagine, even if they're using a dynamic roadmap, they might have invested, maybe they just concluded a deal to import maybe plenty, maybe Okadas or something the previous day. And you know, in Nigeria, government, our own government, they don't even need to give you notice. They can just wake up this morning and say this thing is banned today. Yep. Yes. And if I remember right, it was not even only OPay. There's another company too. They start with is it Gokada? Max could not survive it. I think they left. They left Nigeria. That's why, like, it's part of the thing that now made me, or be they changed. I think but they are not.
No, they left Lagos. They left Lagos.
Okay, they left
not
Lagos.
Nigeria.
But what I want to bring out is that their ability to adapt and just quickly spun out ideas and OPay, you cannot compare it. So I feel like this is like a challenge. Would I call it a challenge, or it is a challenge to us as product managers to be able to quickly think on our feet and adapt to situations. Two product managers in two different companies might be faced with this same situation, and one will be like, there's nothing we can do, or this another one is like, okay, no problem, the worst has happened, let's go back. What can we do? How can we move on? We are here to stay, and we must capture the sector of this economy that we are here to capture, and all of that. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's more on the adaptability aspect, the Agile. That's why what you said in our last class, Agile is more than just a methodology. It's a mindset. When you've imbibed it, whether you are using anything, no matter the technique, no matter the prioritization, those things are nice on paper and planning in an ideal situation. But when things happen, what if it's not even government? What if it's one natural disaster, like all those countries that one thing will just happen, businesses are thrown off, or things like COVID now, all those things that you don't see coming. So I just want to contribute this thought, Sha. The conversation has really
thank you very much. And I want us to see it this way. You know, I just checked something now. What's the total number of users on OPay? And guess what it is? As of April 2024, they have 50 million users and 1 million merchants users on OPay. Now, let me go back to what I was saying about North Star metrics. And give you an analogy. And I like that this came out of class. Have you guys thought, why didn't OPay to follow Max.ng to Ibadan or to other states to continue? Have you guys thought about it? Max.ng they just left Lagos and went to Ibadan. In fact, I even know the guy that owns Max Style. And other rides also went to some other southwestern states and everything. They could have also pivoted something or one of their features or something. You know that. 1 minute, guys, please. Excuse me. All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys. You know, OPay could have actually decided to pivot and also, I said pivot. They could have also decided to say, okay, you know what? We are moving to Ibadan. We are moving to the east, or we are moving to the north. But that is not their business strategy in itself is not right. Their business strategy itself is not service. Let me put it that way. Their strategy is what? We want plenty users that we can collect one naira from. Where do we find that? Where's the most populated point? Have you guys noticed that they started from Lagos and they started spreading? In fact, at the time they didn't have office. They just started opening different customer service centers. And see where they are now, 50 million users. Now, let me break it down for you. If you have 50 million users that does transaction, and the way they even do it is funny. They give you three free transactions every day. So they have calculated that, you know what? We just need to make 1 naira transaction fee from what's 50 divided by 3? All the mass people. That's 50 divided by 3. That's about 13. They say they just said I need 1 naira from 12 million people every day. In that science or in that concept, they are not star metric is not making money. They are not star metric. It's the number of users we can get. Because when we get users, the users will transact. 16.6, thank you very much. So they are saying that, you know what, let's just target 15 million people. Actually, we need 15 million people to make transaction in a day. Will they make money from those 15 million people? Trust. But were they after the money? No. They were after the users that will give them the money. So they are NSN, they are not star metric, are the users. So whatever they are doing is what? How many users did you get today? How many users did you make this month? Whatever they are doing is to bring in users to their platform. I can do transfer, 3 free transfers. OPay to OPay. I will not charge them. Another very good concept. They will sell data. They will sell, in fact, all my services, I do it on OPay now. If I need to go out or I know I'm going to be active for the first 1 week, I'll move some particular money into OPay. So in case anything happens, I know that no Allah. So far my phone is charged and my OPay card is with me. I'm good to go. Do I have that assurance with other banks? Nope. OPay has technically become our our daily transaction tool, our daily life tool. And that's exactly what the North Star metric is. This product, what are we targeting? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? Just give me users. Give me 50 million users. Those users, they will interpret to money. Or what you will call 50 million active users. How do they define active user? Do 1 transaction per day on the platform. So they need 15 million people that will do 1 active transaction in a day. That's all they need. Chineye, yes, please.
Sorry, please. I didn't know my hand was still up.
Okay, all right. So sorry that we digressed a bit, but what I was bringing out of reach is that it is very important when you are populating your reach that you have a number to it, 100 users per month. And I said what? So some people, it might be transactions for some products. You understand? For a company like a bank that sells the app, definitely it will be the number of transactions per week that is their NSN. Because for them, they really don't mind if it's just 5 users they have. But what's the quality of transaction those 5 users have? That is why you see that thank you, Chineye. You see that I think until very recently, when I was in university, I think the minimum to open a Zenith Bank account then was maybe 250K. what they did was, you know what, they've sieved the kind of people they don't want. They know the kind of people they want. So for those banks, it's not the number of users, it's the quality of transactions that they are processing. I hope you guys understand the logic of this reach now. It was reach that brought us to North Star metrics. Because at times, when you're defining your reach, it has to align with your North Star metrics. So if a business that their North Star metrics is in transactions, you will know that your reach has to be what? How many transactions will this feature give us in a month? Because it will make absolutely no sense if for any reason you are picking up features to prioritize and you're telling them that the reach of this feature is, I'll give you a million users. But your business is not looking for 1 million users. They are looking for just 1,000 transactions, because 1 million users might not transfer or might not translate into 1,000 transactions. Do you guys get it? Nobody's talking. Have I ever talked? Okay. Good. Thank you, Limara. So as PMs, that's why documentation is very important. You must be clear what you are doing. And I also mentioned something earlier when you're prioritizing. Your logic must be sharp. Why am I doing this? So imagine you're talking to your stakeholders, and for the business or for the project, their focus are on transactions, and you are talking about users. Do you guys see that there's no alignment? Do you guys get the concept of alignment now when you're saying align with your stakeholders? You're not seeing my screen, okay? Can everybody see my screen?
I can see your screen, sir.
I can see your screen, sir. But sir, I still don't get the alignments you just explained. Please, can you re-explain?
All right. So if a business goal or a business or a product, and they have said that, you know what, we will measure our progress based on number of transactions. I don't want to use NSM, so I don't confuse you. So your target is what? As a PM, build a product that will give us 1,000 transactions monthly. But you are using a prioritization method and you're trying to find alignment with your stakeholders. And you're telling them that I'll build this product, it will give you 1 million users a month. Now, at the end of the month, if your 1 million users did not perform 1,000 transactions, as a PM, you failed. As a PM, there's no alignment. Because you are looking at users, they are looking at transactions. Do you get it now, Mary?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's on reach. Can we move on?
Yes, sir.
So the next framework under RISE is impact. How do you calculate impact? How much will this initiative influence an individual's user experience or behavior? So what is he saying? That, okay, if we build this feature, how much of this feature that when a user uses it, it will actually really, really impact the use or the behavior or the engagement or making this user come back more? And typically it is always called on a scale. Some people pick 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You use 0.25, 0.5, 1, 2, 3 here. So something that we know that is a massive impact. We put it on 3. So look at the example I used, a one-click checkout. Do you know what a one-click checkout is? It means that when I click the checkout button, you're not asking me for plenty questions. I'm just doing my payments and I move. Have you guys noticed that OPay too have started implementing them now? Now they use Face ID. I don't even need to type PIN and everything. I just put the account number, full. It wasn't like that before. Does it make me use OPay more? Yeah, it does, because it's fast. God bless you, everyone. And fingerprints. A small bug fix might have low impact. What do you mean? Now we that are inside, no say na bug. Do you guys understand? Your user did not even notice it that is a bug. They have just adapted that. That's how this app behave. I don't know if you guys get me. I'll give you another example. I got a notification just yesterday. I don't know if they had it for long. That OPay, I like as you are using OPay. OPay now has dark mode. Do I want to change to the dark mode? Yeah, it's fine. Will dark mode make me to stop using OPay? No. So that impact is really low. Because really, it did not really enhance anything for me. You guys get it? Good. Then to the next item under rise, we have confidence. And what is confidence? It simply means that how confident are we in our estimates of reach and impact? This reach and impact that we have picked, how sure are we? Is sure? Is plumb? Is he, is he, did you just receive it when we were sleeping? Or were our decision based on data? Things like that. So the coin a lot of times is in percentage, high confidence. It is based on strong data and research, and everybody can see that, yes, this is the data. The confidence is high. Medium confidence, it's on some level of data, but we still not too sure. Still the middle. Low confidence is gut feeling and assumption. I just sleep and I receive them. So for instance, example, a tested feature with user research. You've gone into the market, you've questioned, you've done survey, you've done everything, you have given reports, so you are sure that yes, clients are really asking for this. The confidence is high. But a new experimental idea that let's try this feature, let's see if it will roll. That's low confidence. Are we clear? Are we good? Good. Then the last item under rise scoring is called E, which is efforts. And what is effort? It's simple. How much work is required to complete this initiative? It is estimated in person per month. That is one person's work in a month. The lower the effort, the better, because it means quicker wins. So if the effort is smaller, it means that it can easily be achieved. So for instance, a simple UI tweak might take half person per month. So it's just half work of what that person will do in a month. A full new reporting dashboard might take 6 person per month. That is 6 people will work on this in a month. The scoring is always in a numerical value. So people pick, 1 as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 will be easy, and 6 will be complex. What I've also seen under these efforts, so if you use some software and things, they use something called Fibonacci sequence. Anybody heard about that? That's mathematics how. So don't let me go into Fibonacci sequence because it's mathematics. So just accept it that at times they don't use, instead of just picking simple number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they use something called Fibonacci sequence. Just research on one Fibonacci sequence. It's an algorithm in mathematics that is used to a lot of times measure, what do you call it, workload or things like that. So at times they use a Fibonacci sequence to measure efforts in rice scoring at times. So how do we operate rice? Very simple. You multiply your reach by your impact and your confidence. Yes, same number, Chinenye, you are correct. Those same numbers and all of that. So the number starts from, I think, maybe 1 to 13, and that progression and other things like that. You get. So basically, so you can also use that to measure efforts. The higher the numbers, the more the efforts. The lower the number, the lower the efforts. Just basic, So rice scoring method, you multiply your reach by your impact, by your confidence, and you divide it by your efforts. That's what gives you your rice score. So, very good example. We want to improve checkout user experience. What is our reach? 5,000 users per month. What is the impact of it? It is I. 2. What's the confidence? We have done a lot of research and everything, 80%. What's our efforts? 3% per month. If you multiply all of that together, it gives you a rice score of 2,667. We have a feature of new admin panel, 50 users per month. What's the impact? Small. 1. What's the confidence? Very high. 90%. Effort will take us about 4 persons in a month. What's the right score of that? 11. Result here shows us straight away that improving the checkout UX has a much higher priority than the admin panel. So you know that, yes, this checkout UX, it will do more for us. It will help push users. So for instance, your North Star metric is users per month. And you know that you have used your right scoring. You have seen that this feature can give you 5,000 users in a month. You guys get the logic now of prioritization. You know that it's a no-brainer. You have to jump on improving checkout UX. If it's Moscow you want to join it with, it's a must-have. Are we clear? Nobody's talking again. No? Questions, answers, additions, multiplications. So everybody's clear about rice and Moscow now. Good. Are we enjoying this course at all? Is it proving clarity for you guys? Are you seeing?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the feedback, Chinenye. Thank you. So moving forward, so what are some best practices for using rice? Use real data whenever possible. Regularly review and adjust scores as new information becomes available. Again, always involve cross-functional teams to ensure fair assessment. Balance short-term versus long-term gains. Avoid overscoring low confidence ideas. Very important. Don't try to be nice. You get? Don't try to be nice. Don't try to be okay, let's be honest with yourself, So limitations and pitfalls to avoid in rice. You will see that rice relies basically on assumptions and estimates. Even though it's data driven, but those data are also still very very fictional, and a lot of times it may not always be accurate, no matter your strategy. If you say no matter your strategy and you're saying that this thing will give us 5,000 users, my people, one way or the other, it's still an assumption, because you can do everything you said you will do, and that 5,000 users may not still come. Are you guys getting me? Yes, Samson, please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Kolemi, that was the part I've been thinking about it, like asking questions about the data and the assumption of it, because I can remember that even the time OPay was rising up, I'm just using OPay as an example. We have other fintech companies also coming up. Like I can remember Keeper, Kudi, like that. So they were riding on a data, maybe basically because of what OPay has done in Lagos. But along the line, we discovered that they didn't sustain. They were not able to sustain themselves in the markets, and then we cannot find them. I don't know. Maybe they are in other parts of the country too. So sometimes that was where the questions comes up. Like sometimes during this scoring of a team, is it always based on the techniques? Is it always guaranteed that this prioritization strategy works?
So one thing I've always learned, thank you very much for that question, something that's very intelligent. So one thing I've always learned is this, is that as a PM, you must be very flexible. If something is not working, you must be fast enough and precise enough to know what is not working and be able to change it ASAP. So like we said, or like I said earlier, even though we are relying on data, but data in itself is not a guarantee. It's just a guide. It's not. There are times data can be accurate, there are times they can be over accurate, and there are times that they may never be accurate. And I think it's just one of the one of the crosses that we have to carry in the industry. I was reading a post recently where, a very top ranking PM just said that, you know what? All our frameworks, all our strategizing, all our prioritization, everything we do is still all based on assumptions. Because there is nothing that is 100% guaranteed. Anything can change. That is why you as a PM, you must be smart enough to quickly know that if this is not changing, what do I move to next? Why this did not work? What do I need to increase this and things like that? So PM is not a job that you would just, they've given me framework. Oh yeah, put everything in. Oh yeah, Kumaru, let everything be up. No. There are things that you have to audit daily. Where are my users coming from? How many users do I have today? So if I'm saying that I'll give you a very good example. If you are saying that I'll give you 5,000 users in a month, as a PM, you should know that you have to divide that 5,000 into 30 days. What does that give us? It means that every day you must get to 160 users, 167 users. If you want to push yourself to say you must do 200 users every month, every day. If as a PM, you are not getting 200 users every day, you know that you have to quickly start iterating, start changing things before it gets to the end of that month. Okay, Christina, you go ahead and Tubilova will go after you. Christina, you have the floor.
Sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay, Tubilova, please go ahead. Please.
Okay, Mr. Kolemi, I just want to ask concerning this prioritization techniques or methodologies that they are how do I say it? They are meant to test for us to know the futures to prioritize, right?
Yes.
For a product that we are yet to develop, right?
Well, maybe for a product that you're yet to develop, it might be for a product that's already in the market and you're just adding.
Okay, okay. But what if it's for a product that we are yet to develop that is just new?
So
how do we do it? Who are the users that, because I hear assumption, how are we going to know what to prioritize, especially for a new product that has not been created before?
So a couple of things. I mean, you definitely did your user research and your user survey before you started building the product. You know where your target audience are, you know who you are targeting. So it is those same people, that your prioritization framework will target also, that, what features will this same set of people that I researched about are into or would like or would attract these kind of people. Do you get to me?
Yes, I get you, sir. So is that our target audience that will determine our reach?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. So where are we? Over reliance on estimates. So like we were saying, so like it's an estimate. Don't over rely on it. Be flexible enough to be able to move and change anytime. Also underestimating long-term strategic value. Some products may have a very lower rise score, but are also crucial for long-term growth. So they are important that you keep padding them, keep managing them, because on the long run, you need them. Also, over prioritizing low effort tasks. So because a task is low effort, you now want to say, okay, because this one is just small work, quickly do it. No. Because it's small work does not mean it will give you high reach or high importance. You understand what I'm saying? That it takes just one person to do this in one day does not mean that it's very strategically important. Also, RISE is data-driven, but qualitative feedback. Don't ignore your customer insights. It still matters. Learn to listen to your customer. Learn to get feedback. Learn to get there's something called NPS, Net Promoter Scores, and things like that. They are your qualitative and your quantitative insights. For me as PMs, one other very strong skill you must possess is your data analysis skills. Very important. For me, very good PM, you must be very good with your metric softwares. Either you are using Pendo, or you are using Hotjar, or you are using, what's this popular one? I've forgotten it. There's a popular analytics software, As a PM, you must be very solid with it. That when they wake you up and they show you your numbers, you can interpret it straight. Yes, Google Analytics is one. Mixpanel, that's what I was trying to remember. Mixpanel, yes. Thank you, to be honest. Yes. Or you're using Mixpanel, For me, I actually did everything. I did Pendo, Mixpanel, Google Analytics, Product Board, Hotjar, then Zoo Analytics. Why? Anywhere I find myself, I want to be able to interpret my numbers and tell the story of my numbers. I want to be able to tell you that, yes, at this particular time, we had 500 users. Why did we have 500 users? Because we did this campaign. And this campaign, 2,000 people saw it. Out of the 2,000 people that saw it, 1,000 clicked. Out of the 1,000 that clicked, I had 500 that had the CT, that engaged the CTA. With my CTA, 5% or 10% of it converted. That's why I have an increase of 50 users in this. That is how you must develop yourself as a PM. So, any questions? Thank you, Tobiloba. So, we're supposed to start Keno, but I think I'll push Keno to next class. I have to dash in for another 9 o'clock. I need to prepare for it. So, before we enter this class, any questions, addition, subtraction? Has it been worth your time? Have we learned something new today?
Yes, sir. Very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir.
Learning
All
a
right.
lot. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So I purposely did not put assignments for rice. So I did not forget. So it's important because we have plenty of assignments.
Please, sir, can you show us the last assignment, because we don't yet have the recorded video or access to the material. So maybe we can screenshot or just.
All right. So this is the last assignment. Create a demo product based on your fictional products. the features backlogs of this product and use that to prioritize the features of that product using the Moscow method.
Okay. What of Saturday?
The Saturday's assignments?
Yes.
Let me search that for you. Okay, I think that's this. So I said create a not more than 10-page slide on and discuss on XP and Lean framework. XP and Lean Agile framework.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night. So we'll see you on Saturday.
Hello, Mr. Kalumi. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Please, just a quick reminder about the Thursday, what's the name? Thursday mentorship class. Please, let's be available on Thursday, 7 p.m.